Hi everyone, this is the LEGO Minifigures Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Collectible Minifigure series. It's a series that was released on September 1st, 2025, and I have built all 12 of these minifigures, and now I'm going to show them to you in a recap video. So this is a 5+ series. Here's the set number. Here's a look at all the minifigures at the front. So there's 12 of them in this series as usual, and you can see all of them right here. And they're sold in these boxes of 36. Usually at the store, you'll find some of these on sale, and I've already opened mine, obviously. But basically, you pick one from the box, you scan the QR code to see what it is that you want, or you pick one at random if you don't care which one it is. You just want to surprise yourself or surprise a friend. But you still want to scan the QR code anyway, just so you don't get duplicates, because oftentimes the ones next to each other in a box are duplicates. But basically, you get 36 in a box, so 3 pairs of 12. So if you have 2 other people that you know, and all 3 of you want to get 12 each, they can buy one of these boxes and split them amongst yourselves. And if you go to the LEGO store or perhaps some other retailers, if they bring out a fresh box from the back, ask if you can scan, or just scan if no one's there, and take the minifigures that you want, especially if you want the full series. But I would say do not take 3 of the same minifigure, leaving none for anyone else. That's just not a good thing to do if other people also want to get the minifigures the same way that you do. Around the other side of this box, you see Gwen Stacy, so that's another minifigure right there. Sorry for the tears here, this is how I got the box. And here is another look at the same minifigures from the front, just slightly larger. We're going to look at the actual minifigures really soon. Yeah, this is a good look right here. And if you do manage to get this box, then you can reuse this cardboard just as a backdrop. You could integrate this in your LEGO city somehow, make it a large poster or something like that, if you're interested in the subject material. Each individual minifigure comes in one of these smaller packages. And now they've switched from the plastic bags to the paper bags, or paper or cardboard box rather. This is what that looks like. Not super exciting in terms of its design. It's the same as what we've seen before, starting in 2023 or 2024. But you do have this QR code that you can scan for knowing which minifigure you're going to get inside. And I really appreciate that LEGO has maintained this QR code system. I think it's the right thing to do so that you don't end up with too many duplicates. These are the first 6 according to the leaflet. I did show them in my YouTube shorts in detail if you want to check those out, but if you just want a quick summary, here are the first 6. So we have, in order, Spider-Man or Miles Morales, Spider-Punk, Prowler, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man 2099, as well as Spider-Man India. And yeah, all of these are nice. You can see here the side printing on every single one of them, so that's nice to get. Some of them have side printing for the legs, as you can see, but not all of them. So this one does not, but the others do. And several of them have alternative heads, so actually 5 out of 6 have alternative heads, which is nice to see. And the 6th one right here does not have an alternative head, but has this mask instead, which is very nice and reminiscent of the Oni from Ninjago. And he also gets this accessory, but there's no place to fit it on his hands because he's using those big fists. So those are nice to get as well. He gets a cape. He gets a transparent vinyl cape, the only one to do so in the series. And then there's another regular cape. We'll look at that later on. And here's a look at the back printing while we're here. So yeah, very nice group of minifigures. And we'll be sorting these in a tier list very soon. But you can probably guess which one of these is going to be my favorite. One I forgot to mention, Spider-Man India comes with this very nice cat. They printed Spider-Man mask. So that's also very nice to get. This is a 1x2 or 1x3 animal, depending on how you want to count it. And here is its height compared to the height of a minifigure. Here are the remaining 6. So we have the Cyborg Spider-Woman, Sun Spider, Spider-Bite, Spider-Man, and Mayday Parker, Web-Slinger, and the Werewolf Spider-Man. And these are pretty nice to get as well. Many of them having, again, dual molded legs and side printing. Yeah, very detailed. I like the execution, especially here for the Cyborg Spider-Woman. It's done really nice and shiny. That's pretty cool. The Werewolf is also done nicely in terms of the printing, although I wish they gave him an accessory. Yeah, this guy is also pretty cool. He reminds me of the ninja with his mask. And I like the baby, although the printing here could be improved slightly. And I love the transparent legs on Spider-Bite, as well as the transparent arms. So that's pretty deluxe and very, very nice to get. Here's a look at these from around the back. You can see here, all of them have back printing, but to various levels of detail. Here it's a lot simpler than this, for example. So it all depends on the type of character and the context. None of them have dual molded arms on this side, but many of them have printing. So specifically this guy and these 2 right here. But the wolf does have a dual molded arm on this side, which is interesting to see. So that's the only dual molded arm for these 6. I also want to mention that the web slinger has this pony as an accessory with the Spider-Man mask on it, so that's very nice as well, although he cannot ride this pony. But I do understand the limitations of a collectible minifigure, so I understand why they put this in here and not a larger horse. This would have been way too large to include for a CMF. It probably won't even fit in the box, and it's out of budget. So I do understand that decision. And with that being said, now it's time for the tier list. And just to keep things simple, I've removed all the accessories from the minifigures. I put them elsewhere so that we can just drag and drop them to the real life tier list very easily. I'm not going to be grading on a curve here, so if somehow I find that all these minifigures are excellent, they all deserve to go in S tier, I will put all of them here. And same thing, if they think that they're all D tier, then I will put all of them in D tier, although obviously this is not the case for this series, thankfully. So let's start with Miles Morales. I do like the character, I like the idea. I think the execution is a bit lacking because the printing is just not detailed enough. The dark blue on black is barely visible, whether in person or on camera, so I do think they could have done a bit more for this figure. So I'll have to put him in B tier. But there's a reason that I'll say at the end of the video while I'll bump him up by 1 to A tier. So usually he would go here, but there's one thing that puts him in A tier. And if you already know, you're a real LEGO fan. So this guy goes to A tier for one particular reason. We have to put Spider-Punk in S tier. There's just no way around that. Dual molded legs, side printing, this wonderful hairpiece, plus he has an alternative as well. And here's what that looks like in case you already forgot. So this is definitely S tier. I love this minifigure, and I wish LEGO would give us more minifigures like this, especially with Marvel and superheroes instead of the very basic minifigures we've been getting. Prowler I do like the idea, I do like the execution, although I'm not a big fan of the lavender color, so I'll have to deduct points for that. It's just a question of personal taste, so maybe you'll feel better about this minifigure than me. This one, I'll put it in, I want to put it in B tier, but then he has the cape, and he has the fists and so on, and the accessories, and the cool Oni mask that reminds me of Ninjago, so that bumps him back up to A tier. Gwen, S tier. This is an amazing minifigure. I love the accessory, I love the dual molded legs, the side printing, and I like the color teal, so I'm definitely biased in favor of this minifigure, which also gets an alternative expression, as you can see right here, so that's an S tier minifigure right here. This is a minifigure that people are going to want for long after it's gone. Spider-Man 2099. I do not like the character too much, but I'm only looking at the minifigure here. Here you see the printing a lot better compared to Miles Morales. You do see the blue on dark blue. It just makes sense to me. The red, the orange, the reddish orange, the nano figure that's printed here, so that's pretty nice. He does get an alternative expression and also a mask that also look nice, plus the cape. So lots of good thing about this figure, but there's no dual molded legs, but there is side printing on the arms. If they did side printing on the legs, I would probably put him in S tier, but I'll bump him down a notch to A tier, which is still a pretty good place to be. Spider-Man India. I like the character and the minifigure. He also gets a mask, he also gets that very cute cat, and I think because of that, I'll bump him up to S tier. If it was not for the cat, he would be in A tier, which is still pretty good. So yeah, that's nice. The Cyborg Spider-Woman, I love how sparkly she is. Yeah, I like everything about this figure except for the fact that it does not have a hairpiece. But yeah, you got dual molded legs, side printing, and also detailed side printing. So look at the pocket right here, for example. So that's really nice. We rarely see this with LEGO minifigures. I'm so happy we got this figure. This is S tier. Sunspider is not really my favorite. He's an okay character. There is side printing, which is good. I guess this cap is useful. You could use it for like use outside of the Spider-Man context, even though the print is here, just because it seems fairly generic. The printing here needs to be improved. The orange is not quite at the level of the orange plastic. It's not the worst I've seen, but they could have made it a little bit better. I do like the crutches. I think they're cool, so it's nice to have those. Overall, I'd say that this is B tier or C tier. Well, B tier just because it has the side printing. I don't want to be too mean. This minifigure has transparent legs, transparent arms, and this transparent accessory. And here's what that looks like against a white backdrop. She also gets an alternative head, or rather a mask, to further increase her usefulness. So yeah, this is a very well done figure. You see here that it's not just regular transparent, but it's transparent opalescent, or it's a sparkly kind of transparent. So very, very fancy. Another S tier minifigure right here. Next up, we have Peter Parker with his child, May Parker, who's named after the famous Aunt May. And I do like the figure, I like the idea of the figure, although I do think the execution could have been improved a bit. But you got two figures in one here, although even the baby, the printing on her could have been better. There's no printing on the torso at all. It's just this generic teal baby torso, but I do like teal. So let's put these two in A. Web Slinger is an interesting character to get. He has dual molded legs, no side printing, no alternative expression, but he does got that cute little pony. But I'm still not very excited about this figure, so I'll put him in B tier. Not a bad figure by any means, but not my favorite. And I feel I could say the same thing about the wolf. There's lots of dual molding here, side printing. I wish that they gave us an accessory, and I wish they made it such that the head can be rotated to look left or right. So all these would lead me to put the wolf in B tier. Maybe I could argue to put him in A tier just because the dual molded legs and the side printing is really nice, but yeah, I do want to have at least an accessory. So for that, he goes in B tier. This is my ranking of this series. I can't remember the last time I had 5 minifigures in S tier, so this is an amazing minifigure series to get. I'm very happy with all these minifigures, and I would like to collect more of them. And I do think that if you have the opportunity to get these minifigures, especially now with the minifigure scanner apps, you can basically scan and collect your favorites. You don't have to buy a full series if you don't want to. But if you did get the whole series, it's not a waste of money. You get lots of interesting characters here. A lot of the stuff is Spider-Man specific, so you're not going to be able to reuse it elsewhere. But the faces, the hair pieces, I do think they could be reused for just generic minifigures. I definitely prefer these minifigures over the Formula 1 vehicles that we got the previous season. Even though here it feels like you get more plastic, I just prefer the minifigures because they're a lot more iconic. And I do wish that at least half of these were minifigures, but that's a discussion that has already passed its time. As for Miles Morales, I bet a lot of people who are not really into Spider-Man are still going to get this figure, because look at what we have right here. Look at this color, and look at this color, and I'll let you form your own conclusions on what you could do with these minifigures if you want to have a light royal blue classic space man. And one thing I have not mentioned yet is that all 12 of these come with these transparent orange tiles on which to place them. So here's what it looks like against a white backdrop. Very nice piece to get. I'm very happy that we are finally seeing more transparent plates from LEGO. While you're here, be sure to like and subscribe. Here's the collection of extra pieces that we get in all 12 minifigures combined. So a few pieces here, but nothing super interesting except for maybe this belt buckle right here, as well as this printed nano figure. So I think that one is the highlight. Everything else here is pretty standard. Overall, I think this is an excellent series. As someone who has watched the Across the Spider-Verse movie, I do find a lot of these characters accurate to the source material, and they're going to be great for Marvel fans, Spider-Man fans in general, or just LEGO fans who like to have lots of minifigures with diverse facial expressions and hair pieces, accessories. There's so much good here, and I do have some complaints here and there, but overall this is an excellent series. This is what I want to see from LEGO always and forever, or even better than this if even possible. But yeah, these are great minifigures overall, and I wonder why we don't get these kind of minifigures in much more expensive sets, whether it's LEGO Marvel or LEGO Star Wars. I'm not talking about like the $10 city sets, those ones they don't need to be the most detailed minifigures ever, but for the more expensive sets, the adult level sets or the T-Fall sets, Teen Fan of LEGO sets, the ones that are designed for collectors, why don't we always get minifigures like this? these minifigures here prove that LEGO have the capacity to make these minifigures, and only $5 each US or $6 Canadian, which I still think is a reasonable price. Inflation has gone up, but the price of the minifigures has not in 2025. And I do hope that they keep this price point in future years, because it just makes sense given the amount of stuff that's here. You have like a minifigure plus one accessory, and it's dual molded, side printing, etc. I do think that is a fair price. And if you do want to buy these minifigures, all of them, you could get them now or wait for a sale. They're scheduled to retire in December of 2025, but you might find them on store shelves for a little bit after that, depending on demand, or they might sell out sooner. So basically, if you really, really want them, buy them now. If you're interested, but it's not super important for you, then wait for a sale, wait for a discount, because they eventually go 20% off on LEGO.com towards their end of life, maybe sometime around November 2025. But your mileage may vary, so make your decisions wisely. And I would say if there's one or two figures that you really, really want, go and try to get them right now. Go to the LEGO store or go to any local toy shop near you that has these in stock and scan the underside of the box so that you know what you're getting. You can use the free OMG Bricks app. I'm not sponsored by them. I just know that the app works for me personally. So that's definitely something you can try, and others have also tried it and they said that it works. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.